switch point, it doesn't really matter, right? What matters is how can I, as a cloud vendor or a cloud service provider, provide you a complete stack of that particular solution. Now, I'm very impressed with what Padmaja said. Cloud has to be an enabler, right? So if you go back to Rajnikant's statement, whether it is an SME or a large enterprise, everybody should be able to afford it, right? It's how much do you want to consume, okay? It's how much of the cost is it that you are willing to give. That bracket which was introduced by Mr. Sinha, how much of it that you want to consume. Everybody doesn't need the whole stack. And how a provider can customize an offering for you is the key thing. You don't need to worry about DR, you don't need to worry about accountability, you don't need to worry about reports. All that will be provided to you by the cloud offering. It's all about the agreement. The agreement should be, what is the SLA the vendor is offering you? Is it 99.99? You pay a different price. Is it 90%? You pay a different price, right? It's all about how much are you willing to pay for a particular service. And that particular vendor should be able to customize it for you, whether it is an SME or whether it is a Oracle. Breaching, Oracle type of a company, whichever I'm meaning, the Mahindra and Mahindras of the world, and whichever. So, or a Reliance for that matter, right, who just bought into these services. Now, we talked of breaches, right? 30 years plus, Oracle has not been breached. So why? It's not that you cannot build a bulletproof company, right? On the other hand, you have RSA as a company, right? I'm not getting into vendor bashing. Security specialist got breached. So it's about what is the protection you want? What is the agreement that you sign with the particular OEM who's willing to offer you that service, and what is the completeness of that offering, right? I have a different view to what Mr. Sinha said, but I don't want to get into it. If you want to, ask something more about it, I'm available during lunch.
So good, we are not entering to the vendor bashing. Good you stop there. Thank you. He brought out very nice sentence that they have not got breached since last 30 years. Okay, let's not go into this. But there is something else going on. And what is there something else? Mr. Hemant Joshi, he sent me a mail for the first time a few days back to invite me for this conference. And he sent me on my official email ID. The same evening, I was looking at my LinkedIn profile. There was a prompt, people you might know, Hemant Joshi. What is the linkage in between? I'm literally struggling that how that system so much intelligent to come to know that we have actioned something and hence you might know him. Or if you search for a flight, make my trip, I want to go from Mumbai to Bangalore, and most probably I have selected Jet Airways. But there is another prompt, SpiceJet available at this cost. Huge analytics going on. When the analytics going on, that means there is huge infrastructure, huge intelligence is built behind. There are 2-3 things, the capacity, the accessibility and availability of that infrastructure. I think that's a key word, whether you like or not. But there is something backbone behind which is working to give all this instant prompt. Mr. Rai is from Tech Mahindra. I would like to hear from you that what is the technology and how it is scalable and how it is so prompt to give this kind of alerts as analytics.
Yeah, so for the analytics part, what is happening is you are capturing data from various sources, and there are agents that are collecting all this data from your browser or from different kinds of interactions that you are happening doing with the emails or other systems. And then this gets collected in a place where all your behavior is analyzed using different kinds of algorithms, and then what happens is these are being correlated and targeted for the advertising or for your for linking the data to reach target audience. So this is happening at scale. Data is being captured. You have big data platform available on cloud where people are collecting lots of logs, lots of data, and analyzing at very large scales. Yeah. Any questions?
Any thought from your side?
No, like we can probably.
Because we are at the receiving end. As a customer.
Yes. So as we could conclude from whatever we discussed so far is like what are those top 5 risks? What has been experienced so far by us in the world of cloud, and what are the controls that were necessary, or what are the key learnings we had? Since we all are in the learning phase, so it is important that we have to be aware and be aware of unknown. So that's what we always say in risk management, that we say known is something which we know what we know. Unknown is that we know what I don't know. And unknown is something which we don't know what we don't know. So probably currently cloud is in the area where we are in the unknown world, where we don't know what we don't know. And therefore, at least whatever we know, that area we will have to do monitoring and testing on an ongoing basis, have the controls in place, have the agreements in such a way that there is a win-win for both, and ensure that you are not caught on the wrong foot, especially when you are taking the initiatives like cloud, which are extremely economy centric, or people want to move into the cloud is not just because it gives them a lot of power, but it also because it has got a lot of economic advantages. So it should not be the case that when we are looking at economic advantage, there are some risks which are going to crop up and going to wipe out all our economic advantages. So that is something calibrated approach is what is necessary, and that's what we keep on doing for our customers also, be it is healthcare customer, how aware I am as far as HIPAA is concerned, because India as a culturally, we are not so tuned for privacy. That is not our nature. We are very open-minded people. So when I'm going to process the data which is on the patient's health, what kind of a sensitivities the regulator, my customer, and his regulator is looking at is very important, and we need to create the enterprise risk management environment in such a way that we have all the compensatory controls in place so that residual risk is minimum. So as we said, that risk cannot be outsourced.
Very good wrap up. So before we throw this slot for question and answer, I have a couple of thoughts which Padmaja has already covered. But one important aspect which we have not touched upon is investigative support. When I say investigative support, and it is at not a big area in India, but take it from me, a lot of work is happening from the government side. New regulations are coming, and it is going to be at par to what you might have seen in Western world. It may demand huge compliance, huge penetration of control across the board. At the same time, there is a force coming from law and enforcement, the investigative agencies, to support in their investigation. We all know that cybercrime is boundaryless. Even within our country also, the state-to-state level police coordination is a problem. How we can get the support from outside of the country. This is going to be a challenge. I think while we think about outsourcing, it's good. Nothing is wrong in that. But, these are some non-fact we always must keep in mind, because something what she said, this is not exactly unknown, but something which I know I know that this is something happening. I thought, let me share with you. So, this you keep in your known list rather than unknown list. With this, I would like to invite questions from the audience. We are well on time. We are well on time.
So I have a question. Since you are from NPCI, how secure is, okay, let me rephrase this. How comfortable as a body you are UI from a security point of view?
Okay. So I'm not empowered to speak about UID security because I'm not from UIDA. But yes, let me tell you the fact that this network where we are connected with entire banking industry today. It's more than 1,000 plus bank across country we are connected. The security, as far as security is concerned, the network security is best in the class, best in the class. And we have gone ahead to the security, and we are coming out with a new platform called Unified Payment Interface, which is going to give hassle-less transformation of payment across the country. It may be banking or telecom or retail sector, anywhere. So security is always a big concern, and it is well addressed. Well addressed in all aspects. That's what I can say.
Well, every technological advancement man has made so far, it is fantastic. But is it that worth? Because whenever we have seen a new technology has been introduced, there are increasing number of cyber crimes, hackers are being smarter. So is it really that worth? Because I know it is very convenient to use cloud technology and various other technologies, but one hack and the company is gone, or even cyber warfare. It is the new modern warfare. People have stopped fighting with guns and tanks, so now they are fighting with keyboards and screens. So is it that worth? I mean, our advancement, is it really that worth? And do we have a solution for curtailing this cyber crime and this sort of nuisance?
Won't answer.
So this one I'll have to answer from a vendor's perspective, but I'll try and keep the Oracle name out. Take a look, right? It's you focus as a customer on your business, right? We will take care. You host the technology on a cloud. Sinha Saab introduced, why do you want to have a CapEx expense? Use the OpEx expense. It is a big thing for any organization, right? Now, the vendor whom you host the application only, you're not giving the vendor the identity data or the data of your organization. That is still with you. You're only giving the application. The application itself, even if you hack, what will you get? Anybody would hack to get data, right? The data still lies with you as an organization. The identity is the most important data. That LDAP still lies with you. The application data still lies in the customer prem. It is not on cloud. So those challenges still remain as to how you protect that data. Horizontal firewalling, vertical firewalling, scale, whatever you want to do, encryption, all that, those challenges still remain. What you're doing is you're taking off the application infrastructure away and enabling certain technologies like, the governance technology, the access technologies into those things by default. You don't pay for that. It comes to you as default. So the identity service, because see, somebody who will host these applications for multiple tenants, he cannot manage so many identities. He will invest into IDM and the governance, the access, the authentication, authorization, and that cost will be spread across customers. It is not being directly piled on one. So what will happen if, suppose, an XYZ company whom you outsource it to, right, gets hacked? What will you lose? The application? It will be rehosted in another environment. There is a DR available. There is a near side DR. There is a far side DR. One side goes down, the other side comes up transparently. Your customers, your partners do not even aware. Nothing happens.
I think the question has gone in too much of detail. So, but in one very short form, if I have to say that once you are married with one vendor, there is no option. Let's leave with this. Next question, please.
I wanted to say something.
Okay,
I wanted to add on top of this.
He wants to add also something.
Yeah, I think to answer a question, you don't have any choice. If you are, I mean, why do you move to the cloud? Cost, flexibility, and efficiency, speed, right? If you don't move, your competitor is going to move, right? You don't have a choice. So just to add, I think I understand traditional way to look at security as antivirus is no longer relevant because of advanced persistent threat. Don't forget